Good afternoon. It's Monday, September the 30th.
We're talking about Foster TV's Let's Talk.
The conversation starts now.
Only on Foster TV. Tristan's Foster Life, and today we're talking about our new Let's Talk that Foster TV just launched, which is the owner of Rob and Tristan's Foster Life. And so we want to kind of communicate what that all does and how you can participate and be a part of that. Oh my gosh, I am a little tired after this weekend. We were on the road from Thursday all the way till yesterday, and then we're doing a show today. We did a show on Friday, and then we do a show Wednesday, Friday, and then we're back on the road Thursday through Sunday again. So it's like we're just popping in to do these shows real quick, and then we go back out on the road. But it is so much fun to meet the viewers, to meet the people that follow Foster TV, and I just love it's starting to get to be the fun part where, so Robert, our son, goes out, and one of the things he says is, when he's working in the booth is, do you have a minute that I can talk to you about Foster TV? And we are getting more and more people that say, oh, I know all about Foster TV. And I just think that is really cool that that is starting to happen. And every time that happens, that's good for us because it kind of, makes us feel like, oh, okay, we are getting a message out, and we are starting conversations, and we are starting to do the work that we're called to do. So always let us know that you've heard about us on Foster TV or whatnot, but that's a lot of fun to hear that. Did you have a good weekend? I did.
Yep. Yeah, you worked on your car.
Yep.
Good.
It's all fixed and ready to go.
Fixed and ready to go. Well, that sounds really good.
Joe Mama for help?
I talked to her a little bit, but I was able to do it myself.
Well, that's good. Joe Mama and you were at the car show in Springfield, and that sounds like that was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
And we gave away a basket full of some Foster TV stuff, and I think whoever won that, it had some popcorn in it and a DVD, and we kind of tried to make it TV-ish, but we gave you some Foster TV swag too, like these cups and our coffee cups and different things like that. They were new, not ones that we drank out of or anything like that. So, what's in the news this Monday?
Well, I read a really interesting story, and I thought it was really worth sharing and telling our viewers about. So, in Miami, Florida, there is a program that's been designed, and it's specifically for trafficked foster youth.
Oh,
so
which is a big issue.
It is a big issue, and Miami, Florida is one of the 13 hubs for sex trafficking of foster youth. So they put together this program, and it's interesting because we've talked a lot about residential facilities, and so they decided that a residential facility is not what these kids needed.
Nope.
Although they needed the security of locked facilities and things like that, but they weren't getting the therapeutic needs met.
Right.
So they developed these foster homes and did extensive training with these foster parents for these kids to be able to come in.
I'm liking this story already.
Yeah. It's called the Chance Program.
Ah.
And it's a remarkable program, and I just think that it's worth us telling and giving a shout out to those folks because.
So to the Chance Program.
Yeah, in Miami, Florida.
That is awesome. I think more states need to adopt something like this. Number one, if you know kids that have been involved in sex trafficking, one, there's an amount of brainwashing that goes into this,
And I think by putting him into a residential facility would only kind of make that brainwashing more true to them, and all they want to do is just get out of there, run away, those types of things. And where if you put them in a more healthy home environment, I could see where that would be really beneficial. And it might be a struggle at first, but it seems like those kids, once they get over the peak and they kind of look back as to what was going on, then they understand, oh my gosh, this is really kind of creepy and freaky.
And I think the shout out also needs to go to those foster families that have taken those kids in, because they have to have extensive security systems on their home to keep the kids safe, and then the training to know how to handle them, to deal with them, because they say 80% of the children that are sex trafficked were sexually abused prior to that. So they have trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma.
Yeah.
So way to go, Chance program.
Yeah, kudos to you in Florida and the Chance program. And hopefully you can create a recipe that more states can adopt and more counties can adopt, and this could kind of spread, because it sounds like you're moving in the right direction.
Right.
When we come back today, we're going to talk about Foster TV's new Let's Talk, a way that we can help advocate for you. It's coming up today.
No more trash bag moves for foster youth. Help us buy bags. Donate at fostertv.net. Click the yellow donate button. Foster TV is a HEDFRA production. Only at Foster TV.
For about the last year and a half, myself and E have been going through a situation with our licensing agency. We have been discriminated against, we have been harassed, and we have had issues with them where we've had to hire an attorney to come and to advocate for Ethan and I. And even though we have never had anything in our home or license that would cause anybody to have any type of concerns, and every inspection that we have had has been perfect, and all of our caseworkers love us, we have an agency that just chose to kind of be nitpicky with us. And so that's why Foster TV has created this Let's Talk, because we know that the foster community is not always treated fairly, and that there are issues that come up, and there's personality conflicts, and there's people that don't have the same desires to serve the way that your family wants to serve, and that there's conflicts, because we're human, and that's what happens. And as a result, Ethan and I are still working to get these things resolved. And at least most recently, we launched an investigation with the state of Missouri Civil Rights Director to have these things looked into, because we felt like ourselves and other foster families were not being treated fairly. Now, you say, why do I say this? I say this because when Foster TV says that we advocate for you, we mean it. And I felt like if we just let this situation go and that we did nothing at all, then I'm not living what I come on television and tell you every single week, and then I would be living a lie. So I thought it was time to come honest with our viewers and let you know what Ethan and I have been going through, but in the same note, let you know about Let's Talk and what it can do for you. Now, the first thing I understand from all of our team here at Foster TV is
it can be really good things. Is that right?
Absolutely. We want good stories. We want great stories about foster families. We want great stories about good caseworkers. We want great stories about youth that you have in your home, or teens that you've worked with, whether it be a therapist or a guardian ad litem or judges. We want all of those positive stories too.
Or a former foster youth, if they're now a fighter pilot in the military or doing extraordinary things with their life because and they were in the system, we want to know about that.
Absolutely.
And I think that it's so important on this Let's Talk that we hear those stories. And I just sat in a meeting, probably about a month ago, and I know for certain, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you were in the same meeting, they want to recognize people that are going the extra mile and making a difference in the foster community. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, so that is one of the elements of this, is if you know somebody who's doing an extraordinary job, and it could even be a teacher at the school. You know, I think of how many awesome teachers that we've had that have taken our kids kind of under their wings and just kind of protected them and got them off in the right direction and stuff. We want to hear those stories on Foster TV's Let's Talk. Now, in the near future, Foster TV is going to be making a huge announcement. Probably within the next, I would say, 30 to 90 days. And we're going to be able to provide a whole bunch of new services for the foster community. The other piece of this Let's Talk is we want to hear if you've had unfortunate situations as well. So tell me what that kind of looks like.
Well, that could be situations where it could be just a personality conflict with a caseworker. You know, sometimes you feel stuck as a foster parent.
Or held hostage. You feel held hostage.
Yeah, or as a Bible parent. And so you need to know how your state allows you to change caseworkers. And, you know, that's a process, I'm sure, in every state. It is here in Missouri, so I'm sure in every state there's a process that you have to go through. So those are things that we want you to tell us about.
Right, and not to interrupt, but we just, not so long ago, we had a bio mom that contacted us, and you probably remember this because I gave you a call because you have the social worker background. So she had done guardianship with her bio children, and then she got her stuff together, and then she was wondering how to get her back. And the person that had guardianship of her children was basically telling her not truthful stuff. Well, Cindy was able to get her information, and as a result, she was able to go back to the court and get a program with a social worker, and she's on track to have her kids back here in the next couple of months.
Right.
Actually, I checked in today, and she said before the end of the year, they'll be back home with her. And so that's just really good information. When we come back, we're going to talk more about Foster TV's Let's Talk and some of the cool things that it has to offer. TRISTAN'S Foster Life. We're talking about our Let's Talk, and I kind of want to reiterate, our executive producer was kind of going through some things with me while we were on break. Number one, E and I are not licensed through the state of Missouri. We are licensed with a private agency, and I think that it's important to know that the person that we've had ongoing problems with and harassment and some different things with is one person within that agency, and for a couple of years we worked very successfully with that agency until they made a change, and this person came into play, and then and we've tried to work with the agency the last year and a half in the most positive way that we could.
but have continued to struggle. And I think that's another important thing to talk about with the Let's Talk, is sometimes, like, we felt like for a while that we didn't know who to go to, and you're almost afraid to go places because it sounds really, really bad, but we have 3 pending adoptions right now, and you get scared about who you tell stuff to because you don't want to do anything to piss anybody off that you might not get to adopt children that you love with your whole heart. And so this is a safe avenue to go, and I'm not saying that we're going to be able to help everybody, but I'm saying that we're going to look at each situation and see if there's any resources that we can provide for you. We're going to see what else. If there's any way that we can get you connected with somebody in your area. And also we're going to have people in place that have been caseworkers that are going to show you kind of what the protocol is for that. And so they don't have to be major things like what E and I are going through. They could be as simple as, like you said, maybe they're having a problem with a caseworker.
Right, or a member of the team, or, sometimes people just need somebody that's outside their specific situation just to talk to. Just to talk to and just to be heard.
Right. We have had several people since we've launched this that have told us their story, and sometimes it's just a matter of us having them look at it from a different perspective. And then when they look at it from a different perspective, they go, oh, gosh, that makes sense. I could see why they might be doing that. And it's not that anybody that's writing to us is not educated or anything like that, but sometimes it just takes a different viewpoint.
Right, or sometimes it takes either speaking it out loud to someone or typing it out, and then there might be a light bulb moment for them.
Right.
Or, they may see it from a different perspective.
Right. And also, too, if you just need the opportunity to rant, because we are working with a system that has some really cool elements to it. Really does. But we're also working with a system that has some really broke elements to it. And I know sometimes for anybody who works with the foster community, we just need the opportunity to rant. And if you just need that opportunity to rant, write us. Because somebody from our team is going to listen, they're going to take what you say seriously, and they're probably going to encourage you in some way, shape, or form. Here's the other cool thing that Let's Talk does. A lot of times, whoever is reading the Let's Talk, and there's many people because we all wear a lot of different hats here at Foster TV. And one of the things is sometimes something will be read, and that will get to one of our producers, and then they'll come to Tristan and I and say, I really feel like, Rob, we need to do a show, or Tristan, I really feel like we need to do a show on this. And we're able to start a conversation because something that you have told us. And I think that that's important. The other thing that Let's Talk does, it's really, really cool, is if you have additional information about a conversation that we've started, you can actually share that with us on Let's Talk. So like Friday, we talked about sibling separation. Maybe you're an expert in sibling separation. Maybe that's your forte. And you can give us a bunch of resources that are available for sibling separation. Then our person who does our website can go on and copy all that information, and we can actually put it on that blog spot for that episode. And then it says for more information about sibling separation, and then we'll have links there that you can click so that you can get more information about a topic that you might want to learn more about.
Absolutely.
So,
we have something real cool that we're gonna do with the Let's Talk. So many times when kids are in state's custody, they get some type of Christmas, but it kind of depends on the area and how much support's in that area and those types of things. And sometimes Christmas can be a little light. But even though Christmas isn't just about gifts, gifts are always fun to open and to have. And I know last year you donated quite a bunch to make sure that kids got a good Christmas. You adopted a family through Foster TV. And I liked what we did last year. We did the Foster Christmas Challenge. What I didn't like about it, it wasn't very personal. And so Cindy and our stage designer met, and you guys came up with an idea. And so tell us about how we're going to do the Foster Christmas Challenge this year.
Well, we're going to do it through Christmas ornaments.
Cool. I like this.
So we'll have a Christmas tree, we'll have ornaments.
And that'll be in the studio
In the
where
studio.
everybody can see it. Okay.
And so people can write in through our Let's Talk.
Yep.
So just in the subject line, they can put Christmas or a Christmas child. And then they can give us a little bit of information about the child.
Yep. First name only, no last name.
First name, age, kind of interest or hobbies that they like.
Yep.
And then we will give those gifts, and we will also give them the ornament that we have assigned to that kiddo.
Yeah, so basically what we're going to do is you guys will submit this through Let's Talk. Then we are going to hook you up with an adopted family or a business that wants to adopt your child or your children that are in your care. And then they will get the ornament, whoever's going to adopt it will get the ornament, and they'll purchase all the gifts, they'll get them to you along with the ornament. Then they'll have a Foster TV memento that has their name, age, and some of the things they were interested in. And the reason we did that is so that when they get older, if they still have that, they can show their kids and say, oh, I got this when I was 13, and some of the things I was interested in was this, this, and this. And then they'll get a Christmas that's a little bit more exciting. And so we're going to start that right away. So if you're watching today and you say, hey, I got kids that could benefit from this, go to the Let's Talk, put Christmas in there, get us the information, how we contact you, where we get the gifts to, and we're going to start hooking you up and getting you adoptive families. And we'll be reaching out and doing that as well. And that'll be for the Foster Christmas Challenge. Now the goal is by the time we shoot our Christmas special at the week of Christmas, we shoot our Christmas special. You'll want to tune in because last year,
it was pretty funny. I'll tell you.
yeah, Courtney and Tristan, I know, were eating crayon cookies that I had made for them, and they didn't know, of course. And then we had all sorts of fun things, and we did Name That Tune and all kinds of stuff. But it's a fun special. By the time we do our special, there should be none of those ornaments left on that tree. It should just be all of our beautiful ornaments that our stage designer does for us. Is that correct?
That's our goal.
Cool. When we come back, we're going to wrap up today. I gotta tell you, I'm really excited about this Let's Talk.
Me too.
Because I'm excited to hear the good stuff. I always like good stuff, and I like to see how people are, positively impacting the foster community. And it's kind of like that old saying, it takes a tribe to raise a child or whatever. But it takes a tribe to foster. If you think of all the people that are involved in this child's life,
for their future, it takes a lot. And so I'm excited to see those positive stories. And I'm hoping that the ones that are not so positive, you know, that we can hopefully point you in the right direction or help you or whatnot. But I'm really excited for the positive one. And then I'm really excited for the Foster Christmas Challenge this year because it just makes it more personal. You know, when you see a name like Dylan, 7, who's into trucks and football, and you're sending that off to a family who's going to adopt him for Christmas, that's pretty huge.
Yeah, and Christmas is, I mean, it's just the time of year for kids.
Yep, it is the time of year for kids, and I don't think there's a time, I just thought of this, I don't think there's a time of year that I like more than on Christmas morning when all my little bundles come downstairs and there's a ton, and I'll tell you, and my boys will tell you, Ethan and I, we do 1 or 2 gifts for each other, and everything is for the kids. And I love that, and I sit there and I probably am at my happiest moment. All my kids are together and it's just a happy time. And so I'm really excited about the Foster Christmas Challenge this year.
I am too.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So, coming up on Wednesday, I know we have a good show. I just don't know what it's about. I kind of forgot. And I do that as I get older, but I think it's because we're traveling a lot and that type of thing. But I'm sure on Wednesday when I do the show, I'll probably know what it's about. I can almost guarantee it. So, do you have any good news for us, Tristan?
I do actually.
Okay, what's the good news?
A school in Washington has actually created a giving garden in an area that, I mean, it just wasn't being used for anything.
Okay.
It wasn't.
So what's a giving garden?
This giving garden is actually creating produce to give to their local food bank.
Ah, that is awesome.
Really cool.
And it says that they give 100 pounds of food to this local food bank even.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
And
is
so the kids
amazing.
work the garden.
Yes, the kids and the local community around the school actually are the ones who work the garden. It's all volunteer.
Right. I know that you can't do this in every community, but I know in some of the smaller communities, they'll do things like this, and they'll actually teach the families how to can and stuff, and so they'll not can it for them, but they'll help them to teach them how to can and stuff, and so not only are they taking food home, but they're taking food that they worked for, and the hopes in that is, 1, you're teaching them about the growing process and stuff, but 2, you're also teaching them how to can and how inexpensive that can be. And I know one community that does this, they even teach them about how you can go to garage sales and that you can find these jars, like big boxes of jars for a couple of dollars, and then all you have to do is buy the seal lids and then take them through the process. But I think that the more open we are to things like that and what they're doing in Washington, then we're setting our families up for success. And I think that that's really important to do.
Absolutely.
And the other cool thing about that is, and I believe in it, our kids, if you want to be a part of my family, just like E and I do, we teach our kids that there's a time for fun, there's a time to learn, and there's a time to serve. And it's not always just with Foster TV. Our kids serve in many different ways. And we know that that's very, very important. But it builds self-esteem. I'll close with this. Robert. Look how much Robert talks now. When we got Robert, he was our first. When we first got him, he wouldn't talk to anybody and he would never look anybody in the eyes.
Right.
And what we did is there were some elderly women at our church and they would do a sack lunch program on the weekend. And so what they would do is they would bake cookies on Friday, and then on Saturday they would actually put the meal together, put it in sack lunches, and they'd go out and deliver. We immediately got Robert involved in that program and serving back, and we immediately saw his self-esteem go up. We saw his communication with others go up. We saw him be able to start looking you in the eye when he talked to you instead of looking down at the floor. We saw significant change in Robert because he was doing something that made a difference in our community. And I think it's very important with the kids that we work with, there is a time for fun and to be a kid. There's a time for education, there's a time for family time, but also there's a time to serve and to serve in your community, and I think it's really important.
Such an opportunity to build character.
Wednesday, I promise, Tristan and I are going to know what the show's about, because you're laughing, but you don't know what it's about either.
I don't have any idea.
Yeah, so we promise we'll know what the show's about, and we'll be back on Wednesday.
Help support Foster TV. Go to fostertv.net and make a donation today. Foster TV's My Story is a HEDFRA production, only on Foster TV.